Hey, all right. So we've been talking in this chapter, and you're like, who is we? Ha ha, me. So the name I'm going by today. Okay, we're gonna rock with Joy D. Williams. Ready? Like Joy, and then the letter D, like not Jody, but Joy D. Close enough. All right. Here's the reason I'm even doing this. It's not even about this particular content. It's the fact that as you're reading this book, okay, and I'm not going to say old school, but the fact that you have the pleasure of being able to pick up this tangible item, open up your textbook because you have a professor who loved you enough to go out and find other people who love literacy, who have experience teaching it, and who wanted to be able to support you as a future amazing teacher, a world changer, a difference maker. And as you're taking these classes that you spend a lot of money for, and not making you have to buy a textbook, that's like a lot of money that doesn't necessarily become something that you can use. What your teacher chose to do was to be able to write a textbook and, or rather, edit and have other people. Well, she did write chapters too, be able to join in on this party. And so my particular chapter, one of them, talks about digital literacy and the places you're going to take your students. I don't even know exist yet, y'all. Like, I'm in the game at least 25, 30 years. So where you're about to go, I'm just excited for you. But this is a chance to see that you opened up a book. You didn't realize you would hear the voice of one of the authors. You would see the face of one of the authors. And for you, that's kind of commonplace in terms of watching a video, linking the two together, the physical, tangible book, and then being able to hit the QR code and then hear the video or see it in different ways. One of my inspirations was I am reading an amazing book called Unearthing Joy, and I have the opportunity with each chapter, I have using their QR code and a list of songs to have those songs playing in the background as I am reading the chapter. Being able to then being put in a whole moment so that I can be able to immerse myself in both the joy and the content in a way that I'm able to receive it in a completely different sensory way. And so that is the power of what you're going to read about in this chapter. And it's called TPAC, but it's that thought of a beautiful integration of, you know, what you want to teach, your content, your standards, the topics, what have you, and why it's essential to that grade level at that time and your students and them becoming citizens that know how to care for others and appreciate the beauty and art and science of life and humans. And then you want to say, well, how do I convey this body of knowledge, this content to my students at their age level in an appropriate way, in a developmental way, in a way that allows them to be their full selves, to provide different access points of process and product and what have you. That's that pedagogy of how do I think about pedagogy as you're pedaling, and it was like, okay, but where are you going? Um, where are you trying to get to? So yes, you can have the tool, and I want you to think of this, the tool being the technology, because technology is a tool, but without the tool or the vehicle to get there. And it was like, you have what you want to carry, but you need a way to get it somewhere. So yeah, you could walk, it's going to take longer. You could pedal, you could ride your bike. Is there another way that you can get to where you need to go, either more efficiently, more safely, in a way that you could take more people with you? Because if you think about that bike, at most, how many people can you take with you? Maybe two, depending on the type of bike you have. But when we're advancing and adding technology, what used to be one person to a group in one isolated location can now be one person broadcasting to an uncountable number of people at different times. So that same video can be seen 10 years from now to people that person may never meet. There are people instructing others who are no longer even living, and they're actively engaging with content through comments and feedback. And it's just like it's being captured in real time. So the power of teaching right now, it's just amazing about the different ways you can do that using technology. So in this chapter, we think about digital literacy. Just keep in mind that the power of a good teacher will never be replaced. However, a teacher who knows how to effectively use technology will easily replace a teacher who does not. Because what you're doing is expanding accessibility and opportunity and empowerment to not just your students. You're thinking beyond your students. You're thinking your building. You're thinking your district. You're thinking, I'm partnering with a school in Dubai. Why? Because our kids are working on a similar standard, and I don't mean just like the standard somebody else tells you. I mean the fact that they're learning how to communicate with one another in ways where they're seeing different perspectives, and they're growing and learning about things that are happening in real time, and why those things matter, and why humanity matters, and why we need to communicate and learn from one another, like the big stuff that makes you a real grown up and not just a old human. All right, so enjoy this chapter. Enjoy every chapter of this book, but especially this was just to show you that there's so many ways that my content, which is to talk about digital literacy, can be conveyed or delivered, pedagogy, using technology in different ways. And none of that will circumvent the fact that I have passion for what I'm doing. And when we talk about content, that I have taken the time to study what I need to study to be able to distribute that to somebody else in a way that they can receive it, grow from it, and then use it for the good of like all of us. All right. Have a great day. I'm going to cut this off now.